Wellness Wednesdays on the Takeover. Brought to you by station sponsor Kelli Naturopath. Book your free discovery call today to uncover better health and quality of life.
Yes, it is time for Wellness Wednesday with Kelli Naturopath. Again in the studio tonight. Kelli, welcome back.
Hi, thanks for having me back.
It's so good to have you here. It has been a very busy show tonight. We just had Kate Collins in from Channel 9 News and also Sarah McElwraith from Adelaide Mums. Those lovely ladies used to be here on Life FM, and we're celebrating 30 years of Life FM, so walking down memory lane and things. We'll put some footage up on Instagram very soon, Life FM Adelaide, but also up on Instagram. We've got a story or a couple of stories talking about what we're doing tonight for Wellness Wednesday. And we are dispelling some nutrition myths, which I'm very keen for.
Yes, we are.
But we're also we're talking about what you eat in a day.
Yeah. Yep.
I am so keen for this. I put up a few photos of what I ate yesterday.
I saw that. It
did you
good.
notice? Yeah. Well, it did. Except I didn't maybe put up everything I ate. Just a couple of photos. But I was impressed with myself, actually. I was like, hey, I wasn't even going to do that. And then I was like, I've got these photos from this awesome caprese salad I made yesterday. I'm going to put them up on the Instagram and show off my culinary skills. But yeah, anyway, it was very easy to make. We are talking about nutrition and well-being. And to get started, should we dispel some myths?
Yes, I think we should.
All right. What's the first myth you would like to dispel, Kelli? I'm very keen.
Okay. Well, a common one that's been around for many years is that eating too many eggs will raise your cholesterol.
Oh, yes.
Yes, not true.
And so cholesterol is...
Yes.
What is cholesterol? Just very quickly,
Yeah.
for those who don't know. I mean, I have some understanding, but not quite. I know it can affect your heart. I don't really know anything else about it.
Well, it can when it's in the wrong place at the wrong time, and it creates inflammation in the blood vessels.
Okay.
So, but cholesterol is actually essential to our body. It's the foundation of a lot of our steroid hormones and our sex hormones as well. And it's actually essential for the structure of our cell walls as well. So we do need cholesterol, and actually only about 20 to 25% comes through the diet. Our body makes the rest of it as it needs.
Okay.
And so there's this idea, because egg yolks contain a high amount of cholesterol, that eating too many is going to put your cholesterol up. But that is a myth. There's actually no evidence to say that will happen. In fact, egg yolks also contain a lot of other nutrients like choline and fat-soluble vitamins and lecithin that actually help with the regulation of cholesterol. Not
if
true.
anything,
It's a healthy food.
It improves your cholesterol, or it can improve your cholesterol, if anything.
Yeah, it could, definitely. Yeah, it's a very nutrient-dense food.
Yeah, beautiful. Okay, I do love eggs. That's a great one. And I know that over the years there's been a lot of talk about having, like you're saying, that too many isn't good, or that, they can raise your cholesterol. But it's good to hear that that's not the case.
No, not the case.
Okay, so that's the first myth. What's your second myth?
Second myth would be that diet drinks are healthy.
Oh.
So as in, like, your diet soft drinks and
I think I can see where this is going.
Yeah. Okay. So, yes, we don't have the sugar, but instead we have a whole bunch of chemicals that communicate with our brain, and they can contribute to... we know they can contribute to weight gain because of the way that they trigger hormones in the brain.
Really?
They also alter the gut microbiome in a negative way. So that's never a good thing.
No.
And there's some preliminary research that say they might have sort of a bit of a neurotoxic effect, which means they can be toxic to the nervous system. So, if you're having the odd diet drink because you can't have sugar and it's, the occasional thing, then you're probably okay. But if it's something that you're drinking every day, thinking that you're doing okay, that's I would suggest we find some alternatives.
Yeah. Okay. That's such a common thing that a lot of people think, if I have diet drinks, it's not affecting my health.
Yeah,
but I have heard, and I'm actually surprised by this. I knew this. Even though I'm a type 1 diabetic. So when I was diagnosed with diabetes, I was very angry at the world or angry at life because I was like, there's so much I can't eat and I have to count all my carbs, and it was just annoying. And so Diet Coke and like all of the Coke, no sugar and all those things, that was like something I could have without having to think. So I was like, this was my saving grace, but it's really, I know it's not good for you. And for me, I try to just have like sparkling water instead.
That's a great idea.
I find that that's, it relieves my thirst more than regular water, and I still feel like I'm having a fizzy drink, but it's without all those added things in it.
And you can add some, like people add fruit or lemon slices, orange slices, things like that to their mineral water, and it's a great way to have an alternative.
Yeah. Okay. So that's the second myth.
Yeah. So probably the next one would be that low-fat dairy is healthier than full-fat dairy.
Oh, this is a good one.
Getting controversial. Getting more and more controversial as we go. Yes. So the fat in dairy, or the fat in any food really, is a big contributing factor to what makes it palatable and tasty. As soon as you take that fat out, a manufacturer is going to need to put something back in to make it taste good so that people will buy it. So that usually means more sugar or more salt, more sodium, that kind of thing. The other problem with taking the fat out is that fat is really important for making us feel satiated. So if we...
what does that mean?
That means to have a sense of fullness. Like you've finished eating, you're satisfied. You don't need anything else to eat. So if you're having, more low fat or having a very low fat diet, you'll find that you will get hungrier faster. Yeah, so it's not going to get you through. And people then end up eating more because, So, I'd say stay full fat. Yeah. Unless there's a medical reason or, unless there's some digestive issue that you can't digest fats properly.
So when it comes to things like milk and cheese, I'm just thinking dairy products. It's the first thing that comes to mind. But, go for full fat rather than reduced fat. And like you're saying, this is, we're not saying if your doctor's telling you to have reduced fat to go against that advice. This is just general advice.
This is general advice for the average population. That's right.
Yeah. Very interesting, because a lot of those things that we've touched on so far, like the fat-free and the sugar-free and what was the first one?
The eggs and cholesterol. Yeah, that's right.
It's like these things are so commonly spoken about in the media or just in general, but we're potentially getting the wrong information.
Yeah, I'd say so. And, nutrition is a very, I suppose compared to other sciences, it's quite new. So it's evolving super rapidly. And so we're learning new things all the time. And then we've tried to, in things that we've tried to do to sort of improve food, have sometimes, backfired on us, I think.
Yeah. We're going to continue this chat straight after Roy Tosh with Young Forever. It is Wellness Wednesday time with Kelli K, Naturopath. Don't go anywhere. You're on Life FM. Roy Tosh with Young Forever on Life FM. You're here with Kelli K, Naturopath, for Wellness Wednesdays, and Maz as well. Kelli, welcome back.
Thanks.
I am so keen because we are tonight dispelling some of the common myths around nutrition. We've spoken about how eggs don't actually raise your cholesterol, which is great. I'm very keen about that. So that's a myth that's been dispelled. We've also spoken about how sugar-free products usually are unhealthy for us. They're not actually very healthy at all. And also the fat-free or reduced fat sort of dairy products and things like that are usually filled with other things like salt or sugar that are not good for our health. So it's better to go full fat. So they're the three myths we've already dispelled. You've got another one.
I do. I mean, I have many. But we'll start with one.
We can do an entire show on dispelling nutrition myths. I would love that.
Yes, we probably could.
Yeah.
All right. So another one would be that dairy is your only and best source of calcium.
Oh.
Yes. Okay. So we kind of have had it drummed into us that we need our 3 serves of dairy a day or whatever it was. So there's actually Yes, dairy is very high in calcium, but it's also extremely hard to absorb. And we can get dairy from we can get calcium from lots of other different sources. So, things like all your brassica vegetables, your broccoli, Brussels sprouts, kale, that kind of thing.
Okay.
Bok choy, tofu, some of your seeds and legumes. And sardines are actually the number one best source of calcium.
Really?
Yes.
How random.
Because they've got the little bones in there.
Oh.
So the most bioavailable, which means the easiest to absorb, so you're going to get the most bang for your buck, is having some sardines.
Wow.
Or the salmon that still has the tins of salmon have still got the little bones in them.
So those bones are safe to eat. I don't know if that's a naive question, but... you can actually eat the bones.
Yeah,
you should eat the bones.
You should eat the bones, yes. I encourage you to eat the bones, yes. Yeah.
Kind of related to that, eggshells. Can you eat eggshell? Or is that a little bit weird? Because I think that contains nutrient too, but I don't think it digests very well.
It's very high in calcium, but no, I don't think humans can
Maybe don't eat
I know
them.
my dad, crushes the eggshells for his chickens.
Yeah.
I don't
Maybe
think
not for human
consumption, no. And also because the shell itself, contamination, I don't know. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
No.
Just eat the egg.
Yeah.
Just eat it. Okay. Do you have another myth?
Sure.
Okay, well, let's do one more, and then we'll take a quick break, and then we'll come back and continue our Wellness Wednesday chat. But one more myth for now.
Okay. One more myth is that if a cereal is a healthy breakfast option.
Oh, so cereal is not necessarily the healthy breakfast option out there.
No, and I take exception to perhaps rolled oats. Like if you're using rolled oats and you're cooking them as a porridge or you're making overnight oats, then yes, great. But commercial cereals that you buy from the supermarket, 95% of the time, not really that healthy. Quite high in sugars or other added sweeteners, usually refined grains, usually not enough protein as well. So for most people and most, commercial cereals, I would say there's much better options in terms of starting your day with something good.
Is it better to go for something sort of like a savoury or like bacon and eggs? So
I'm a big fan of the savoury breakfast.
Me too.
Because it sets you up a bit better for the day.
Yeah.
Anything that has a decent amount of protein and fibre in it, even a little bit of fat in it, will help set you up better for the rest of the day.
Okay.
In terms of energy and in terms of just nutrition in general and keeping you fuller for longer as well.
That leads me to a question. Now, we've been told our entire lives, that's what I'm saying. I've been here for 30 years, but I've always been told by the media and parents and everyone that breakfast is the most important meal of the day.
Yeah.
Is skipping breakfast okay or not really?
Okay.
Taking out the part about me being a diabetic as well.
Yes,
we won't talk about that.
Absolutely. For you, no.
Yeah.
So there is some controversy around this because there's been a lot of interest in the whole intermittent fasting thing and, people skipping or delaying breakfast. And it looks like for some people that might be a beneficial thing. However, it's really important for people to know that the vast majority of those studies that show positive results are done on men.
Okay.
And often healthy men or, men who are in a certain age. So it doesn't really tell us a lot about half of the population who are female.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really say about individual dynamics. So for people who are, have a lot of stress in their life, for women with hormonal issues, with anyone with a thyroid condition, and probably just in general, women in general, I prefer that people have a decent breakfast.
Okay.
I think they seem to do better on that because we know that fasting is a stress on the body. And women's threshold for that stress to kick in is a little bit lower than men's when it comes to not eating.
Right.
So not eating is a stress on the body,
So being hangry is a real thing.
Being hangry is a real thing, and that could also
Particularly
be
for women.
Yeah, women, and also people with the blood sugar irregularities. Or people who have insulin resistance, which is that sort of pre-diabetic, but it can be even the pre-diabetes.
Right, yeah.
So that takes quite a while to develop. So people can start to show some signs of insulin resistance long before they're showing pre-diabetic or diabetic tendencies.
Yeah, wow. Okay, we have
Did that answer your question? I'm not sure.
No, it did. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day.
But everyone's an individual.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, I've been told. Yeah, and of course, as we said, all of what we're saying is general. We're not giving out specific medical advice to any particular person, but I've been sort of told by certain people that it's okay for me not to have breakfast. It's like, it's up to you. If you don't want to, you're on an insulin pump, your blood sugar will still be fine. And then I today was talking to a nurse before I saw my GP, and she was like, what, you don't have breakfast? That's terrible. So I think that there's there's some conflicting information, and it really comes down to the individual, their makeup, their any medical conditions, medications even, stress levels, stage of life. All of those things matter when it comes to making a decision about your nutrition. Okay, well, we have dispelled some myths, and I have loved it because most of them I think are great, the fact that we've dispelled them. But we are going to be chatting about what you eat in a day, Kelli. We're going to do that straight after this one from Jane Nibb. It's In My Own Lane on Life FM. Jane Nibb, In My Own Lane on Life FM. You're on the takeover with Maz and joined by Kelli K for Wellness Wednesday. Kelli K, naturopath, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
So good to have you in the studio tonight. We are chatting about a few different things. We've been dispelling some nutrition myths, which I've loved. And right now we're going to talk about what you eat in a day. And we're doing all of this because last week was actually Nutrition Week. So chatting about nutrition a little bit more tonight to celebrate that. Okay, let's chat about what you eat in a day. I am very intrigued to hear what you eat.
Okay. Well, it's all normal food. You'll be pleased to know.
It's food that anyone can buy from the shop.
That's right. Fancy or gourmet. All available, at your local supermarket.
Yep.
So, all starting with breakfast, which we were just talking about. So, for me, I really make sure I have a decent amount of protein in the morning. Otherwise, that really affects my energy levels. So, probably my go-to would be a couple of poached eggs on toast with some baby spinach.
Ooh, nice.
Or avocado. I would have that quite a bit. I also have, now it's coming into summer, I'll probably do a little bit more of like the chia puddings or overnight oats.
Yep.
And I will always make sure I add some nut butter and some other nuts and seeds. And then I put fresh fruit and sometimes a bit of plain Greek yogurt. Just to increase the protein and to help me last a bit longer. And those are my go-to breakfasts. If I've got an early day at clinic the next day, then I can just grab it and go. It's already done.
So you do that from overnight?
So I do it the night before. Usually while I'm making the dinner or making the kids' lunches, I just prep that.
Okay.
And then it's ready to go in the morning.
I will try
add
that.
My toppings. Yeah.
I'll try it tonight when I get home. So chia seeds and like rolled oats soaked in water?
Yeah. So I usually either do the chia pudding or the overnight oats. So when I do chia pudding, I usually do a couple of tablespoons of chia and then 6 tablespoons of liquid. So I personally use almond milk.
Oh, yep.
And then a bit of vanilla extract. I add some pumpkin seeds and some hemp seeds.
Yum.
And then I let that sit overnight. And then in the morning, I'll mix some peanut butter, or I'll add like walnuts and almonds on top, plus some, at the moment, now the berries are in season, I'll put some berries on top of that as well. And maybe like a couple of spoons of Greek yogurt as well. So
this sounds good.
Yeah,
this is making
really tasty.
Excited to get into a breakfast routine, Kelli.
And good. And the beauty of it is that you can mix and match how you like it. Like add whatever nuts and seeds you like, add almond butter, add I don't know, can't even think right now, but honey,
different
fruit, kiwi
like
fruit. Yeah, so sometimes I might put a little bit of pure maple syrup on it, but I'm not really one for a sweet breakfast. I don't really put a lot on there.
Yeah.
And also, we don't want it too sweet in the morning because that's going to mess up our blood sugar throughout the day.
Right.
So I try and use the fruit and the little bit of vanilla extract.
For that sweetness.
Yeah,
Yep.
it can give it enough. With my overnight oats, I chop up a couple of dates and mix that in with it as it soaks, and that is enough for me anyway.
Yep,
It's enough sweetness.
Yeah. Nice.
Along with my almonds and pepitas and
Sounds
other bits
good.
and pieces.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's breakfast.
That's breakfast, and I will usually have like a green tea with that.
so no coffee first thing in the morning?
Usually not. I will have a coffee either just after breakfast or like mid-morning.
Okay.
Another like little tip and trick is try not to have coffee on an empty stomach. Particularly if you're someone...
It's my time to just leave now.
Particularly if you're someone who suffers anxiety, you're particularly stressed, struggle with fatigue, or you have like IBS type symptoms.
Yeah.
Because it can be quite irritating on an empty stomach. So I
did not know this.
Preferably with or after your breakfast.
Okay.
Would be a better option, particularly if you fall into that category.
Taking notes. I'm taking notes here.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah, that is a big thing I need to change. Yep. Moving right along. Okay.
It's all about setting yourself up well for the day.
Yeah.
Yes, and I might have a mid-morning snack. Depends. I don't often, but might be a piece of fruit. Sometimes, like last week, I made fruit gummies, which is just like basically fruit and gelatin and a little bit of honey, and it kind of sets like a nice little jelly square.
Oh, nice.
And it's a good quick protein snack.
Yeah, okay.
Or I will have more so in the afternoon. I'd probably have like my almonds and Brazil nuts.
Yep.
And then I'll have some dark chocolate with that.
Okay, nice.
Well.
Yeah. And dark chocolate, as we know, is a healthier option.
Yeah. Trying to aim for 70% or higher.
Okay, yeah.
And when you pair it with something like almonds or other types of nuts, or some sort of protein or fibre, it has less impact on your blood sugar.
Okay. That's good to know.
Yeah.
Okay. So lunch, what does that usually look like?
Lunch would usually be leftovers, or if I'm going to the clinic, it would be usually a salad with whatever I've got in the fridge. So usually some sort of spinach or lettuce. We eat a lot of cos lettuce. The other day, yesterday it was cabbage.
Yep.
And then I'll put whatever veggies we have. And always, again, some sort of protein.
Yep.
So I'll have some tuna, some beans, seeds, a bit of baked chicken.
Yep.
So quite often when I'm making dinner, I'll chuck a chicken breast in the oven, season it with salt and pepper and some oregano, and put it in the oven.
Yep.
And then I cut that up for our lunches the next day.
That is such a good idea.
Yeah. So it's so easy.
Yep.
Takes half an hour or a little bit more.
But you do it while you're doing other things. So you don't even have to think about it. It's just happening.
That's right.
As long as you don't burn it.
Yeah. That's what timers are for.
Yeah.
But I'll usually do even a couple at a time, so it lasts us 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
Or keeping some boiled eggs in the fridge to add to salads and things.
Yeah.
And then I'll put olive oil.
Yep.
Some olive oil, lemon juice, salt and pepper.
Yep.
If I'm feeling inspired, I might like actually make a dressing out of those things and put some garlic and stuff in. But often I just couldn't be bothered to.
No. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, and if I'm really struggling, sometimes when I'm just at home and I haven't organised anything, I will just cut up some carrot, cucumber, capsicum, have it with some hummus, have a little can of tuna with it, and that's my lunch.
Yeah, nice.
Still getting the protein, still getting the veggies, might have some seed crackers with it.
Yep.
And that will get me through the afternoon usually.
Okay. And then dinner?
Dinner is a real mixed bag. Yeah. So I do get a bit bored a bit easily with dinners. So we would have probably salmon or some sort of fish or seafood once a week.
Yep.
And then we might have a chicken dish, which might just be last night it was baked chicken with salad, and I'll usually bake some sweet potato, or I'll cut up some potatoes for chips as well to go with that.
Yep.
And then probably in summer we'd be having a lot more. Tonight we had a like a Thai-inspired
nice.
vermicelli prawn dish with snow peas and radishes and coriander and stuff in there.
Yum. Yeah.
So we'd probably have more salad bowls, a red kidney bowl. We have a lot of stir fries with basmati rice. Yep. And I'll do all the normal things as well. Like, we have bolognese and meatloaf.
Yep.
But it's always half meat and half veggies.
Okay.
So I always try and have that split.
Yep.
So that we're not overdoing the animal protein. And we're getting plenty of fibre and nutrients in that way.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I love that. Well, thank you for sharing, what you have during the day and giving us some tips along the way as well. Things like the boiled eggs, having them in the fridge for salads for lunch.
Yep.
And maybe always making sure you've got some lettuce or salad in the fridge and tomatoes and carrots and those types of things.
And also, I always like to keep some interesting things to make salads more exciting. So I usually will always have some olives in the fridge or some capers. At the moment, I've got some kimchi in the fridge, which
so good.
Is great, supporting the gut as well, being the fermented food. So things like that, where you can add a little bit of goat's cheese or something like that, just to make it a bit more interesting, so you don't feel like it's just lettuce and cucumber again.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, some really good tips. We are running a little bit low on time, but I reckon we've got time to have a very quick chat very soon, straight after we check the live diary. We're going to be answering one of your questions that's come through on Instagram, Life FM Adelaide, from a question for Kelli K. We'll be doing that very, very soon. That's pretty much it for the show tonight. We are nearly at the very, very end, but Kelli K, you're still here, and we've got a myth to dispel. No, we don't. No. We're talking about
a question to answer.
A question to answer. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah. This one's not a myth.
It's not a myth. This one is an actual just answer to a question that you sent through on Instagram. Someone sent through a question about carrots and night vision. The question is, how do they improve our vision, basically?
Yeah, well, carrots are really rich in beta-carotene, as are other vegetables that are orange and yellow.
Okay.
And beta-carotene gets converted to vitamin A in the body. Vitamin A is essential for eye health, and it improves vision and night vision clarity as
Beautiful.
Well. So, that's a very quick and simple answer.
Oh, there you go. Eat more carrots for better vision. I need to try that.
Yeah.
Kelli, thank you so much for joining us tonight for Wellness Wednesdays. It's been so much fun.
Thank you.